Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well and staying safe. My name is Dan Carmichael, and I'm an enrollment relations rep with Triangle Tech. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Triangle Tech, but also some information on post-secondary career and technical schools. So what I'm going to do is share my screen and pull up a PowerPoint, and we're going to talk about some information here regarding these different schools and how they can be beneficial and help you out in the future if this is the route you want to go. So I do want to point out, you're going to notice there's a QR code as well as a link down at the bottom of the screen right next to it. If you are interested in finding out whether or not career education is right for you, go ahead and scan that QR code or go onto that link, and it'll be a quick little survey you can fill out. I do want to mention that this will pop up a few times throughout this presentation here, so you don't have to scan it right now. It'll be on the last slide as well as a few other spots throughout. So you might be sitting there saying, well, what is a post-secondary career and technical school? What am I going to hear about today? This is a long-winded definition of what these schools are, but to simplify it, it's a school that focuses on one type of career path. And we're very fortunate being in Pennsylvania, as there are a ton of these schools that exist. There are actually more than 200 career and technical schools out there, and they range in a wide variety of courses. You have things for cosmetology, culinary, business, arts, medical fields, computers, as well as what Triangle Tech specializes in, the trades. So you have a lot of options out there on where you'd want to go. I do want to point out that with any post-secondary education, you will find benefits of attending these schools. With career and technical schools, you're going to find a handful of benefits that might be a little bit different. You are getting training in fields that have critical shortages, meaning these jobs are in a higher demand. You're also getting a lot of hands-on learning at these schools. So you're not just sitting down at a desk all hours of the day that you're in class. You're going to be working on projects, working on equipment, really understanding what you're doing at these schools and for your career. You do get a return on your investment with these schools as well, meaning the money you put into it, you are investing on yourself, and in the future, through your career and your salary, going to get that money back, plus more beyond that, right? So you are getting a higher return on your investment. Now, you are also going to get to graduate into your job market normally in 2 years' time or less. So these schools are faster paced, which means you are going to go through quickly, be able to graduate, and start working in your field a lot faster than most other people. Now, I do want to mention that Mike Rowe, if you're not familiar with him, he is a huge advocate for people going into the trades industry. Uh, you probably don't know his name. You'd know him more from his TV show called Dirty Jobs. He's the host of that show. He's also been on a lot of TED Talks and podcasts and things like that. He said there are 7 million jobs that are open right now, with a vast majority not requiring a 4-year degree. And that's creating a lot of opportunity that people are not talking about, which as a result, this term he has called the skills gap, it's getting wider, right? People just don't know what to do when they get into these fields. So they're having trouble getting into the jobs and maintaining them, right? And Mike Rowe is trying to help find a way to lower that skills gap. So are schools like us at Triangle Tech. Again, that QR code and link here are on the screen if you want to scan that or check out the link whether or not career education is right for you. Something else I want to bring up, very relevant to what we're seeing right now, is skilled trade jobs have actually proven to be more stable than many other professions, and that was proven by the fact that these jobs and duties were deemed essential during COVID-19 lockdowns. So you think way back, right, when the quarantine started, the pandemic started, everything kind of got put on hold for that period of time. It's kind of still put on hold. We saw that trade jobs, they really weren't, right? They couldn't shut down. They're essential, they're necessary. So what we're seeing is not only are these jobs in a high demand right now, they actually provide a lot of job security. And through Triangle Tech, we ended up seeing over 1,300 jobs since the lockdown started come through our doors looking for more workers, looking for graduates of our school to help fill these positions and make sure that these essential jobs had people working at them. Now, if you are interested in a career in technical school, there are a handful of ways to prepare. Some of the bigger ones are listed here. You want to focus on your STEM fields: science, technology, engineering, math. Math is incredibly necessary. It is something that we do at our school every single day. So you do want to make sure your skills are freshened up, are sharp in that math aspect. You also want to look into different VOTEC options, ABTS, CTE, CTCs. These are really good hands-on schooling options where you can normally spend half or a whole day at the school doing more hands-on work in your classes. If you don't have that opportunity, you might have opportunities for tech ed elective courses within your high schools, where it might not be half a day, but it might be, a period of class where you are able to do more hands-on work and understand if this kind of education is right for you. As always, you also, if given the opportunity, want to observe jobs. Make sure the career you're looking at is one that you will fit into. So make sure before you, decide on the schooling option you want, look into these careers. If you know someone that works there, go out and observe what they're doing. And then finally, you want to tour your post-secondary options. When you are touring career and technical schools, you want to experience the labs. You want to sit in on classes. Really make sure you're going to be comfortable in these environments and this atmosphere. Make sure it's a good fit for you. Look at the equipment they're using and make sure it's up to date. You also want to ask about completion and placement rates, because essentially that tells you how successful a school is, how many students are entering, graduating, and getting placed into their careers. You also want to meet with admission reps and make sure if you have any questions, you get those answered by those reps as soon as you possibly can. And then finally, you want to meet with financial aid and really understand how you're going to be able to pay for this schooling and education. Now, when you do decide on the school, right, after you take your tour, you're going to register for your classes and choose your start time. Depending on the school, these start times will likely be different. Most career and technical schools provide more than 2 class starts. At Triangle Tech, we provide 3. We have class starts every year in June, October, and February. Those do not change, and you are more than welcome to come into whichever class start you feel most comfortable joining into. As far as admission requirements go, this will be different from school to school as well. Some schools are only going to require a high school diploma or a GED. That is all we look for at Triangle Tech. Other schools might be looking for SAT or ACT scores. They might have an entrance exam or essay you have to fill out and accomplish. I've even heard of some schools asking for you to go through an interview process to make sure you're a good candidate for the school. You want to be aware of that early on so you know what you need to get done in order to register and enter taking classes. Now, as far as those classes and what you're going to expect there, the class sizes will be relatively small. At Triangle Tech, we average anywhere from about 10 to 15 students in our classes, and we do put a max limit on them at 25. So you'll never have more than 25 students in a class with you. Most of these career and technical schools are relatively similar, smaller class sizes, which provide a lot of personal attention, a lot of one-on-one time with you and your instructor. In case you have questions, you will get them answered relatively quickly. Now, the majority of your classes will also be in your chosen field. At Triangle Tech, I did mention we have math classes, but we do not have things like English literature, history, science, foreign languages. We want to make sure that when you enter into one of our programs, you are learning the most you possibly can about that course, which makes it an easier transition when you actually start working. And because of those classes being more hands-on, you're going to get a lot more hands-on training within these fields as well as theory. And I do want to point out that it's not only hands-on. You are going to have theory classes because you need to understand how to do the work physically as well as mentally, really understand the reasoning behind what you're doing. Also, I want to mention that attendance is important. Something we look at every single day with all of our students is that you are showing up for school. You need to be here to prove your knowledge. So we do have attendance policies in place. Most schools will. On top of that, the reason attendance is important is because that's what employers want to see. They want to know that you are showing up for school, because more than likely, if you are here in class, you will show up for work and be a motivated, responsible worker for them. Now, when you graduate, depending on the program, the school you're in, you can receive a few different things. Now, some schools you'll receive a diploma, which we actually at Triangle Tech have a brand new diploma program I'll talk about in a second. Some schools you can receive a certificate, and then other schools you might receive an associate degree, which at Triangle Tech, we have 5 programs in which you can receive your associate degree in specialized technology. And again, we will talk about those in a second as well. I do want to give you a brief background and history on Triangle Tech. We were founded in 1944, so we've been around now for a very long period of time. We started off in Pittsburgh, and we're still here today. We've also branched out to having a few different campuses as well. We're in not only Pittsburgh, but Greensburg, Du Bois, Sunbury, Bethlehem, and also Chambersburg, which was our newest campus we opened up about 2 years ago. One more time for you again, that QR code and link are on the screen. Now we are also nationally accredited by the ACCSC, which is a very big deal for us as a school. Every few years, they kind of grade us on what we're doing, how we're functioning as a school. We have guidelines we have to follow. And on top of having that accreditation for over 40 years, we've also received awards for School of Distinction as well as School of Excellence. And a few years ago, Forbes magazine released their first ever list of top 30 trade schools in the entire country. We're very proud to have been selected onto that list as well. Now, I know I mentioned wanting to go through each one of these programs with you. So the 5 programs we have at Triangle Tech in which you can earn that associate degree in are CAD with additive manufacturing and 3D printing, CAD standing for computer-aided drafting and design. We have maintenance, electricity, and construction. We have carpentry and construction. We have refrigeration, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, which we shorten normally to REVAC. And then we have our welding and fabrication program. On top of that, as I mentioned, we have that new 8-month diploma program in industrial and structural welding. Now, I would love to go in as much depth as I could about each one of these fields and what we do at the school to help train you for them, but unfortunately, we would be here all day long. So to give you just a brief overview of what we are doing in each program, we're going to take a look at some of our students who are currently working in action at the school, and I'll talk about the programs that we have. Within carpentry and construction, you'll be learning how to build a house from the ground up. You'll be learning some residential with light commercial work and also do some related trades and cabinetry work. You will also be able to gain the knowledge needed in order to run a business. Within our welding and fabrication field, you'll be learning the 4 processes of welding: MIG, TIG, stick, and flux core, and you'll be doing that on plate and pipe. On top of that, you'll also have the potential to earn 3 different certifications within welding: the AWS, ASME, and API. Within our REVAC program, refrigeration, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, you will be learning residential, commercial, and industrial, along with digital controls and, again, skill sets in order to run a business. Within our CAD/AM program, computer-aided drafting and design with additive manufacturing and 3D printing, you'll be learning some architectural and mechanical CAD using AutoCAD, Revit, and Inventor software, along with skill sets needed to learn about the up-and-coming additive manufacturing design, along with 3D printing. And then finally, in our maintenance, electricity, and construction program, we're going to focus on maintenance and construction within the areas of residential, commercial, and industrial, with a large focus on programmable logic controllers, which in the electrical world are essentially the future of that industry. Now, I mentioned financial aid earlier, and I did want to touch back on that and talk a little bit about how Triangle Tech helps you through the financial aid process. So what we do is with every student that comes in for the program, we have a personal appointment. It's a one-on-one meeting between you and a financial aid rep. And in that meeting, we cover what FAFSA is, what it means, how to fill out that form. And then we touch upon the different ways for you to be able to pay for school. So we go through a budget. We make sure there aren't any surprises with you. We'll talk to you about the interest-free payment plan that we have set up. We are a yellow ribbon school, so if you are interested in going into the military and then coming into our school, we do work with the GI Bill as well. We work with a few different VOTECs throughout the state, more than a few, it's a lot. And we have a handful of credit for credit articulation agreements set up with those different VOTECs, where some of the credits, if you are taking those classes, might transfer from your program into our school, into one of our programs. So definitely ask us about that if you are going through one of those different VOTEC schooling options right now. Beyond that, there are also scholarships, which I highly recommend looking into, finding, and applying for. It doesn't cost you any money, just a little bit of time, and in the end, it can help you save a ton of money. And there are so many scholarships out there that go unclaimed every year. Right on the screen here, you're going to see there are some trade-related scholarships: the Imagine America, Mike Rowe, American Welding Society, as well as a Triangle Tech specific scholarship. And this is one that we offer through our school to a student who is coming into our June semester, and it's very easy to apply for. All you need out of high school is a 2.5 GPA, 2 letters of recommendation, and a 250-word essay on why you're interested in coming into one of our programs. As long as you do that, fill out the application, and are selected the winner, you will receive a scholarship that covers 25% of your entire tuition. So that is a full semester of school covered through just that one scholarship. So I would highly recommend looking into it, applying for it, especially if you are planning on coming into our school for that June semester. Here are some pictures of recent scholarship winners we've had. We always like to make sure you get a little bit of extra recognition and acknowledgement. So we'll come out and present the award at any school ceremonies your school might host, or we'll just snap a picture with you and post about you online on our website or some social media pages. Now, I did want to bring up career advising as well, because this is a really important process from our school for the students to get into the career you want. So what we do with career advising is every student creates a job profile with our career advisor. And in that job profile, it says to us what you specifically want to do in your field, where you're willing to travel to, how far you're willing to travel for work, the salary you're looking for, and specifically what you want to do. And within that job profile, we try and connect that to different employers. And once we find those employers, we help you coordinate interviews with them. Now, before that whole process, we're going to go over with you your cover letter, your resume, and mock interview processes, so you understand what to expect in that first interview, how to present yourself, how to act, and what kind of questions you might be asked throughout. We really try and make it as easy for you to get these interviews set up and know exactly what you're doing when you go in for that first one. Now, we also provide continuous placement, which means for any students we have that come in through the program and graduate, you can come back and work with our career advisors at any point in time in your career. We've had students utilize that 6 months after graduation. We've had students utilize that 15 years after graduation. So at any point in time, you can always come back and work with us, because you graduated from Triangle Tech and you're always considered a student of ours. So you can always come back and work through that continuous placement if you need to switch things up, or you're just looking for a bit of a change of pace in your career. Now, as I mentioned, you do earn your associate degree in those 5 programs in just 16 months' time, or also, as I mentioned, that brand new diploma program in just 8 months. So it is a very fast-paced, very quick process to come through school, graduate with a degree or a diploma, and be able to start working specifically in a career you were trained for. If you're interested in following us on any social media, we do post daily, or at least try to, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We also have a ton of videos on our YouTube page. I would highly recommend checking that out. We have employer and graduate testimonial videos, as well as videos on each one of our campuses and each one of our programs. So it gives you a better idea and view of what our school looks like and what we're doing at the school. I do appreciate you guys having me in today. I thank you for sitting through the presentation and following along. I hope you were able to gain some knowledge. If you are looking for additional information on Triangle Tech or any of our programs, please visit our website, triangle-tech.edu. You can give us a call. You can text GOTECH to 32075. One more time, that QR code and link are at the bottom of the screen. And if you have any questions that you really want a response to right away, feel free to email me. I left my email on there, dcarmichael@triangle-tech.edu. I'd be more than happy to help you out, assist you, and get any information to you that you need. Or if you're interested in setting up a virtual or in-person tour, you can let me know and I can help you out with getting that scheduled as well. Again, thank you all so much for coming in today and checking out the information I had for you. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks.